What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make quick and easy money listing products from other sites to Facebook Marketplace and keeping the difference in profit for yourself. You guessed it, obviously today we're talking about the growing trend of retail drop shipping on Facebook Marketplace specifically, okay? And this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, e-commerce opportunities currently right now. And there are many ways to actually approach this, but I've been testing this out myself heavily for a little bit over a month now, and I'm here to share all my secrets in this tutorial with you today, okay? What works, what doesn't, what you need to look out for, and how to best approach this so you can make money. And I also did make a tutorial that dropped about 2 weeks ago. I created that tutorial a little bit over a month ago now, right at the beginning of when I was drop shipping, but then obviously I went away on vacation with my fiance. And you can still drop ship in the way that I show in that tutorial as well. It's actually much safer that way, but it's not as efficient. You won't make as many sales. It takes longer, etc., etc. But the way I'm going to show you in this tutorial today will allow you to make more money with a lot less time and a lot less effort on your part, okay? So if you didn't know, Facebook recently, fairly recently, probably, I want to say like the back end of 2020, but I didn't get into it until like a month and a half ago, recently allowed shipping on their marketplace, which completely changes the game, okay? You're no longer just limited to dealing with people locally and exchanging sales and products in person, okay? You can now ship to people all over the country using Facebook Marketplace and listing your products to their billions. Yes, that's billions with a B customers, okay? So chances are if you're watching this video and you're this far into it already, you're probably familiar with what dropshipping is. But in case you aren't, it's simply when you just facilitate the sale of a product from a seller to a buyer and you keep the difference in profit for yourself, okay? Or in layman's terms, it's literally when you list products from one marketplace onto another marketplace at a higher price point, right? And then you make the profit, obviously, which is the difference in the sale from one marketplace to another. This is not new, this is not novel. People have been doing this for probably a decade-ish now. But obviously, now that Facebook Marketplace has recently launched their shipping option, it's new to Facebook Marketplace, okay? So I do want to talk about a few things before we actually jump into the tutorial and I show you how to do this, like the entire process, A to Z. So let's quickly get through the boring stuff really fast. I have a little PowerPoint presentation I want to get through, but pay attention to it. I know it's going to be boring. I know it's not very much, like there's no like eye stuff with moving stuff. I'm not talking to you. It's literally just a voiceover on a PowerPoint. I already recorded it, but pay attention. This stuff is super important if you really want to make this work. So one of the main issues that I see new sellers face is they don't list enough, right? One of the best tips that I can give you is to list a lot. The biggest problem that I see with people having trouble starting, whether it's drop shipping on Poshmark, like I've shown in the past, or if it's this, or even if it's reselling anything in general, is they don't list enough products, okay? Don't just list 10 things and when you don't get a sale, then stop, throw your hands up and say it doesn't work. Don't just list 50 things and stop and claim it doesn't work, right? If you really want to make money online, you have to put some work in. Nothing is a magic pill. It doesn't matter how easy the business model looks or how easy the person on YouTube in this example makes it seem, right? Now, that being said, this is pretty easy and that's a big if there, if you're willing to put some work in, okay? And it actually doesn't take all that much work. I don't focus on this like at all, literally at all. It is not my focus whatsoever throughout the day. I focus on my content side of my business and my main reselling side of the business. And I've literally just been testing this out and playing around with it like in the morning when I work out between sets and at night when all my work is done and I'm winding down, right? In that case, I usually put on like one of my favorite YouTubers or listen to an interview with a CEO or something or an audiobook and relax, right? And list at the same time, okay? So it's not like I'm saying that you need to sit down from morning to night listing products to make any money with this. That is not the case, all right? But you will have to list and you will need to put a little bit of work in, okay? The benefit of how I'm going to show you how to do this though is that it's pretty much mindless, right? Once you get it down, the software will do about 95% of the heavy lifting for you, if not more. And you just have to verify some things, save the URL of your product so that you can obviously go back there once you get an order so you can order it yourself and send it to them. and then change some words here and there in a title or a description, or you'll see here once we get to the tutorial, right? But the best way to approach this is to set a goal of consistently listing products every day for a month. Start it out for a month, just set a consistent goal, build some momentum, okay? That goal could be 5 listings a day, and you can literally do, once you get half decent at this, you can do 5 listings in like 5-10 minutes. No joke. It's not hard, okay? Maybe it's 10 a day, maybe it's 20 a day, maybe it's 50 a day, okay? If you really want to scale this quickly, whatever it is, okay? Whatever you have time for. And then you'll look up a month from now, if you do it consistently like that, and have another income stream that's paying you pretty well. Then once you have a good proof of concept and you see firsthand that it's working for you and you're not just taking my word for it, then you can invest more time into listing and scaling, okay? So those are the main issues that I see new sellers face. Let's talk about 3 potential problems that you might run into. Now, the first one is the main issue that a lot of dropshippers face, and that is tracking numbers. And I've actually faced this myself when I started resale dropshipping. I would list things from Amazon, and then I realized, like, okay, I have the tracking number because I have my Amazon account, but how do I give that tracking number to my customer on a different platform, right? And so I'm going to show you how to do that. There's many ways to actually do that, but I recommend using the DSM tool. It's simply a Chrome extension that you can sign up for that converts your Amazon tracking number into a different tracking number that you can then give to the buyer so they can follow along with where their order is. This also helps because it helps you to track your orders. It also helps you to save the tracking number if you want to in a spreadsheet later. And it also helps if, there's a potential issue with your order so that you can prove it to the marketplace that you list on, in this case, Facebook Marketplace, that you did ship the item, that it did go to the customer, and that you have tracking proof, okay? Now, the second issue that you might face is cash flow. And this is especially prevalent with new sellers that don't have a lot of money. But, if you're scaled up and you have a lot of money, you could still face this issue as well, okay? So I obviously recommend using a cashback credit card big if there again, if you're responsible. If you're not financially responsible, do not use a credit card, okay? And if this is you and you're using a cashback credit card, definitely pay attention to my next point here in a second. But if not, then you simply want to just open up a new bank account just for this, okay? I recommend opening up a brand new bank account. It will make it very, very easy. Then put a few $100s into it. Or if you have, 100 or whatever it is, right? My recommendation is a few $100 to start this so you have a little bit of cash flow, and then keep it simple, right? You don't need to overcomplicate it in the beginning. That will protect your downside so you're not charging thousands of dollars up on a credit card while also allowing you to make money. And so you see your bank account steadily increasing as you sell more products and as you get more money back from the Facebook payments that you're collecting, right? And I also recommend that, especially if you're using a cashback credit card, but it really doesn't matter in both instances, if you're using cash on a debit card or your bank account, or if you're using a cashback credit card, track everything, especially when you're a beginner, okay? Now, I'm going to show you my system here. It makes it very, very easy. And what I basically do now that I'm a little bit more advanced is I don't really track my profit. I just assume, because I'm not worried about the cash flow and I'm not worried about the margins potentially, because when I go, you'll see it here in a second, but as I go and order something, if somebody orders it from me, right, then I go in to order it from wherever my supplier is. In this specific tutorial, I'm going to show you Amazon. God forbid, I'm not making profit and I'm losing money, I'll just delete that listing, right? And it's not that big of a deal. So I'll ship it to the customer and just take that loss there. I also don't personally worry about returns, but that's just me, right? And I'll also show you my inventory system. So I'm a little bit more scaled now and I'm not that worried about it. This is not just Facebook Marketplace. I do this on a number of other marketplaces as well. And I plan on creating tutorials on them coming very, very soon. I'm excited about this. But if you're new, you should track everything, okay? That way you know your numbers. The best way to do this is with a spreadsheet, okay? Or simply list high if you want to, and then delete products, like I said, if the price goes too high. And you can also cancel an order on many platforms, especially Facebook Marketplace, although I would recommend trying to avoid that if possible. If you're taking a loss on a product and it's not that substantial of a loss, just take the loss, delete that product, move on to the next product. Same thing with a return. People are always like, well, how do you calculate returns in your profit margin, or how do you account for them? And the answer is very, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You can also track that in your spreadsheet, but I don't worry about it, right? Because for every, I don't know the specific numbers, but let's say for every 100 orders I have, I might get one return, okay? So it's not something that I'm really that worried about, but you can obviously address that problem as you go. I would rather than worrying about like returns and potentially spending my finite energy worrying about things like that, I would rather spend that finite energy listing more in other places, okay? So in short, track everything when you're new, or you can simply follow along with a tutorial like I'm about to show you and just do it like I do, okay? Now, the last thing is that it does seem that on a lot of these listings, and this is just anecdotal, I don't have any, proof of this yet. It's just data that I'm seeing. It does seem that there's a lot of listings that might have kind of a short shelf life on Amazon, right? Or not on Amazon, on Facebook Marketplace. I'm used to saying Amazon, meaning that they basically go stale and you need to renew the listing potentially sometimes to get more visibility and make it new. Now, I'm still testing this and I'm still looking at data, but that's just what I'm seeing on quite a few listings so far. Now, obviously, like I said before, you should also use a cashback credit card. Just to recap, you can also use things like Honey and Rakuten when you're buying and other cashback things for extra money. And I have tutorials on all of these. I'll try to remember to link a Honey, a Rakuten, and a cashback credit card tutorial of the best ones that I recommend, how to use Honey and also how to use Rakuten, down at the bottom of the description, okay? Now, finally, let's get all the boring stuff out of the way. Before we actually get into the tutorial here in a second, there's some things that you're going to need to start. It's very, very simple. You need a Facebook account, which probably 99.9% of you that are watching this have. If you don't have a Facebook account, then just simply sign up for one. It might take you, honestly, like a day or two because they do a lot of verification things if you're new, because who doesn't have a Facebook account? But if that's you, it's totally fine. Just sign up for one. You'll be able to get one, okay? You also need some money to obviously spend in a bank account, or you need a credit card, okay? Very, very simple. Two other things that you're going to need that make this really, really streamlined and really make this a lot easier on you is Z-Drop, which is the Chrome extension that I use to actually list things, right? And what that does, you'll see in the tutorial here in a second, is it takes Amazon listings and automatically posts them to Facebook Marketplace super quickly. And this is a game changer. I used to literally copy everything myself manually, but this saves you probably a minute or two, if not more, even if you're going fast, right? It saves you a lot of time. And as you're listing more and more items, that's going to exponentially increase the amount of money jumped ahead of myself, the amount of listings that you're able to list, which will obviously increase the amount of money that you're able to make and your profit, okay? So Z-Drop Chrome extension is what we're going to use here. You can download that on the Chrome store. The other Chrome extension, again, on the Chrome store for Google Chrome, is the DSM tool. And that's a great way that, like I touched on previously, if you do decide to use Amazon as your supplier, then you'll obviously need to convert their tracking number into a different carrier's tracking number, okay? This specific one converts it automatically into a Blue Care Express tracking number, which obviously then you can input into Facebook in this case, or any specific, marketplace that you're doing this on, so that the buyer can obviously track their order. Now, remember, to recap, you cannot just input a Amazon tracking number. You can, so be careful. I don't mean to say you can't actually put it in, they won't let you. You can, but then it will become apparently obvious what you're doing, and the buyer obviously won't be able to track, right? So you need to input the tracking number and then give them the actual, the Blue Care Express tracking number place where they can actually track their thing if they ask for it, okay? And you also need to remember that you need to input a tracking number within 3 days after they make the order. So make sure whoever you use ships out quickly. Okay, so now before we actually get into the tutorial really fast, I want to bring to your attention two parts of this Z-Drop Chrome extension that you'll see right up here that really I won't be going over specifically in this tutorial, but are going to be super helpful for you if you want to use them in your own dropshipping business as well, okay? So the first thing is that you can bulk upload. You'll see these little 3 red things right here are part of the Z-Drop extension. Once you download this and you sign up, I believe it does cost $10, but it comes with a free trial. Once you actually do download this and you refresh your window and you're logged in, you'll see these things pop up, okay? So one of the ways I'm going to show you here in a second is to simply copy it to Facebook Marketplace, okay? You can also, if it's something that's vintage or handmade, also copy it to Etsy, although obviously this example right here doesn't work. Or you can save it to your bulk list, okay? So if you hit save to the bulk list, which I'm not going to because this is already on my bulk list specifically, if you come up here and you click the Z-Drop extension, you'll see that there's a bunch of things in my bulk list, right? And so what you can do, I'm not going to actually demonstrate it here because it will actually take a lot of time to actually list all these things. It's going to literally go down and list every single thing that I've included in my bulk list. Is you can go over to bulk and then you can run the bulk, and you'll see there's only 2 things actually in my bulk list right here. But then I can run the bulk after I select all, and it will literally post them all to Facebook Marketplace. And then you just need to go through and verify, like, put the price in, make sure that the price is set up, obviously, if you're not doing it with a template like I'm about to show you. Or you also need to verify like the title, or make sure the pictures are basically, fine and everything. So bulk is super easy way to list a bunch of things. You can go to Amazon and simply, once you're on a bunch of listings like this, just simply save to bulk list, and do it with, like, I wouldn't get too crazy, maybe save it like 20 to 50 and then list them all and go ahead and verify, right? You don't want to get too carried away, because if you start listing with bulk on like 100 things or 1,000 things, you're never going to actually finish that before you boot down your computer, or before you go to sleep or something like that, right? So I wouldn't get too carried away, but you can use that. It's a game changer and it will list them super fast. And then you just need to verify a few things. Now, another thing I want to touch on really briefly with this extension is that you can set up a template as well, so that when you post your products, for example, it already starts out with like a 20% profit margin, or always like hide it from friends on Facebook Marketplace, which is exactly what I do. So now that we've got all that out of the way, let me show you exactly how I go ahead and do this, okay? So what I'm going to do, and one of the best tips that I can give you, is to also, first of all, you want to list a lot of things like we've covered before, but also list obscure things. List everything that you see, okay? Yes, you want to list things that are like best sellers. Yes, you want to list things that have high profit margins. Yes, you want to list things that are cheap. Yes, you want to list things that are expensive, right? And what I'm basically saying is list a bunch of things. It's the best way that you're going to figure out what works for you that isn't working for other people, right? If I gave like a one size fits all, like this is the best category, this is the best type of product that you should list, this is the best type of profit margin that you should go after, then everybody would do that, and eventually it would get saturated, right? And then it would cease to be the best thing or the best category. The best tip that I can give you is find out for yourself, okay? So you can go to best sellers, you can go into a category, you can find products in any number of ways. And obviously I'm using Amazon here as an example, but you can source from a number of websites as long as it gets shipping and you get a tracking number, okay? There's a bunch of them out there. I'm not gonna list them for you, like Walmart, Home Depot, Target, like anything like that you can list from, okay? So for this example, I'm going to go into the best sellers, and let's just pick a random category. Let's go to like, I don't know, kitchen and dining. And you typically want to, there's 2 ways to approach it. Either the volume approach, where you just list a bunch of things, and probably in that case, like everything that you list is not going to sell. Chances are a lot of things will never make a sale, right? But all you need is a couple that start to get recurring sales that pick up traction, and that will cover your profit and pay for all the time you spent listing the others, right? So remember, like I said, do not list this. Do not just go ahead and list like 10 things or 50 things and think it doesn't work. You need to actually put the work in consistently, and then you'll have a couple products that hit, and they will be recurring income for you as people continue to order, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and list this kitchen drawer organizer. Why not? And maybe this smoothie maker really fast to give you 2 examples, okay? And I'm going to show you how I do this, but you can list best sellers, or you can list often, like sometimes the best products are things that you wouldn't think sell. So I come down here and I'm like, and I've actually sold this before, so I'm going to list that one as well. But so you like often the things that you don't think will sell well are indeed the things that actually drop ship well, right? Because a lot of people are going down and giving their gut opinion of like, oh, this looks like it's a high profit margin, I could probably drop ship this for more. Or, oh, this looks like a high profit margin, I can drop ship this for more. And like, this isn't very exciting. So like maybe someone skips over this, or like the majority of people do, but maybe this drop ships very well. And so the best tip that I can give you, like I said before, is to try a bunch of different things. And then slowly you will see what works for you and what does not, okay? So just put up a bunch of random ones. I'm only going to show you like 1 or 2 because I don't want to waste your time. Let's go to like a good one here. My computer's being really slow because it's running software in the background. So let's drop ship this butane torch from Amazon specifically here. It's a great listing as well because you can see that there's a lot of ratings on it. You can also see that there's there's a relatively cheap price on this, and it's highly rated and has the Amazon's Choice badge. So you can pretty much guess. It's not for certain, right? Don't take my word on this, but you can pretty much guess that this is not going to go out of stock anytime soon, if ever. and then also not really going to change the price. Now, if you want to do, I don't have Keep It installed. Do I have Keep It installed? I don't have Keep It installed right now. It's not going because the extension's hidden. But you can also use Keep It to verify if there's been like price fluctuations recently, but I don't want to get into that right here. I'm trying to keep this beginner friendly, okay? So all you need to do to list this to Facebook Marketplace is copy to Facebook, and all it's going to do is it's going to simply copy it to Facebook. Now, it might go a little bit slow because I have this up, and I also have a bunch of like cross posting for List Perfectly in the background. So like it's doing that while I'm doing this. So it's being a little bit slow. And then you simply, once it opens up this blank page on Facebook Marketplace, and you need to obviously have a Facebook Marketplace account signed up. You need to sign up for Facebook, and then obviously open a Facebook Marketplace and verify your payment so they can charge you for shipping and stuff like that. But then you just want to hit paste data once it opens it up there. And then it should slowly start pasting that listing in. And that's the simplicity of it. That's all you need to do, right? The Chrome extension does all the heavy lifting for you. Now it's taking a minute. There we go. It's even going to paste the tags or some tags, which is obviously something that's really, really cool that I haven't seen before personally. And you can also see that with the template that I set up, it automatically hides it from friends, which I know is a big thing for a lot of people, because if you have like you can also do this from like a business page and list from a business page, but a lot of people are going to be listing from their personal page. And so a lot of people have an issue. They're like, I don't want to constantly be posting like hundreds of things to my friends every day. They're going to hate me. So just simply hit the hide from friends button. You can do it manually, or you can set that up in your template on ZDrop. Another thing that the template automatically does is that you'll see it set the price to 18 because I automatically have it set at a 20%. I think it's 20% profit margin. So it marked it up 20%. So $15.99 to $18. And then I think that's 20%. Yeah, that's 20%. And then, so it already automatically does that for me, right? Now, you'll see how to verify the price here once we go to next, and it'll tell you your profit margin. But let me go through this slowly of exactly how I would do this. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to be able to track where your product's URL is, right? Because if somebody orders this, you need to know where to actually go ahead and buy it so you can make the profit and ship them the item. So I'm going to copy the URL. I'm then going to open up a folder full of my drop shipping listings. You can literally see just like numbers here, right? So I know if somebody orders a listing, go back to Facebook, orders a listing with a number at the bottom of the description. Let's say, for example, this is 99, right? And I see that somebody orders this and I go down to the description that says 99. Well, then I can simply come back into my dropshipping folder, click on 99, and that will take me to the URL, okay? And I know exactly where I actually purchased that. So I'm going to save this as a shortcut. I'm going to save the URL that I just copied, and then I'm going to click the next number is 96. So now I'm going to put that number 96 in the bottom of this description, not 99. So I know when somebody orders this, I go to 96 in my dropshipping folder and I simply order that product and send it to this person, right? Very, very simple way to do it. Very, very easy and streamlined way to run your inventory, okay? Now I'm also going to, since I'm already here, going to add some tags in here. So let's scroll up and then we'll just put some tags in. You can see it added some tags, but like I want some more specific tags. So we're going to go like butane torch, mini torch. I don't know anything about torches. We'll go like cooking torch. I don't know, maybe lighter. And I would probably add a few more. You can add up to 20, but I would add some here if it didn't add like good ones in there already, okay? But for the sake of showing you, I'm not going to get too involved here. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to come up. It doesn't always do this, but this extension does this almost every time. It adds this here in the top of the description. Make sure this fits by entering your model number. Make sure this blah, 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 right? So you don't want to actually keep that in your description. You want to delete it out. And then I like to give myself another little extra space here because I like to paste the title on the top of the description, but that's just how I approach it. You don't need to do that. You can simply just delete that, okay? Because if you look at the Amazon description here, that's not there, right? It starts with note butane gas, but for whatever reason, it just puts that in. Let me show it to you again. It just puts that in the top of the title for not every listing, but for the majority of listings, okay? So delete that, space it down because we're gonna add the title in there. Now we're just going to simply go up the list, right? So we need to add and adjust all these things right here. So it's no, it's not that. It's not outdoor lighting. I'm just going to say tools for the sake of demonstrating here, but I probably want to find like the best category here. It might be like kitchen or home improvement, like something along those lines. But for the sake of showing you, I'm going to just do it like this. I rarely add the brand in here unless it's something like Little Tykes or something like, something that you would like what's another? DeWalt's a good one that seems to get a lot of traction on Facebook. So like, if it's a brand like that, that's easily recognizable that people might be searching for, add the brand in, right? That makes sense. But I generally don't. Now, two ways that you can do this is you can just keep track of your margins. If you really want to make more sales, but not have a high profit margin, you will make more sales at the more competitive your prices are, right? So I'm going to make more sales, chances are, at $18 than I would at like 25, right? But I'm going to list this relatively high, maybe go like 23 here, because I'd rather list it high so I don't really have to pay attention to it. And then I just know that there's a lot of potential profit in there. On top of that, I already know that it's not really going to change the price much because it's Amazon's choice, and it's, the price here isn't going to fluctuate. It's pretty much set. That's not always the case, but it is for the majority of cases. Okay. So I'm going to list it at $23. I'm going to say like available quantity. Like you can list this like maybe like 1 to 5 realistically. I would list more than one quantity if you're drop shipping, because if you only list quantity of 1, then you're going to have to relist it every single time. But I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't be like, oh, I never have to relist this. I'm just going to put 99 quantity, because that's going to set off major red flags to Facebook. If you constantly listing like so much quantity of everything, they're going to be like, okay, something's up here. We need to look into this. Okay. It's not like you're not allowed to do this, at least to my knowledge. I don't know if this is against Facebook's terms of service yet on the marketplace, but chances are they're going to want to steer clear of this in the future if it's not currently. So I would just protect yourself, maybe 1 to 5 max, okay? And then I'm going to fix the title here. So we're going to like kitchen, butane torch, culinary torch, referable. And then at the end of this, because sometimes it cuts off, you can leave it if you don't really care and you're just going for volume. I like to kind of fix it really fast. So like with safety lock. Boom. And we're going to select all of this because, like I said, we are going to paste it in the top of the description. And that's how our listing is going to look, right? When somebody comes to this listing on Facebook Marketplace and buys it, we're going to make the markup and profit. And that listing doesn't look too bad. I know when somebody buys this, I go to 96 here. It's got some tags and it looks pretty solid, okay? And that was like kind of like a slow tutorial. It took a while for me to actually show you that, but that's because I was demonstrating. If you do this on your own and you learn it and you do it quickly, you can really bang these out in like a minute, if not less, honestly, especially with this Chrome extension. So I'm going to do another one really fast here for you in a second, just to kind of show you the quickness that you can obviously do this in. But let me finish this listing really fast. It's hidden from friends. That's good. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to go shipping only. I'm going to use my own shipping label, right? We don't use a prepaid shipping label. In the old tutorial, I was like, okay, you can combine like retail drop shipping with like arbitrage and order it to your house first. And that's going to protect you, obviously. You're allowed to do that on a lot of platforms, okay? That said, if you're trying to save time, you don't want to actually do the fulfillment yourself. And it kind of can be a hassle verifying all that stuff when you have packages coming to you and then you're shipping them out. It can be a lot to kind of manage. So what I recommend is obviously just ship it with your own label, and then you can order it directly from Amazon or wherever. This is how dropshipping actually works, right? Order it from Amazon specifically or from whatever website that you're obviously ordering from, whoever your supplier is, directly to the customer, right? And then you can use the tracking number like I've said before, okay? And then I'm going to offer free shipping. Me personally, because I have Amazon Prime, and in this specific case, I'm using obviously Amazon to do it. It doesn't cost me anything to ship it, right? Amazon's going to ship it for free. So you can see here that after all is said and done, if I sell this at $23 and I'm obviously making $21.85 after fees, that's one of the benefits of Facebook Marketplace dropshipping is their fees are so low, only 5%, which is the lowest online with a marketplace where there's a lot of customers on. So this is a great opportunity right now, and their fees are so low, so your margins are going to be higher. So I'm going to make $21.85 when I list this. If somebody buys it, obviously, I'm buying it for about $15, so that's a $6 profit margin or almost a $7 profit margin, okay? So I'm literally almost, making 50% margin here on this product, right? I think that is over 50%. So then we're going to hit next and we are going to list it, okay? Now, a few caveats here. I did save this, correct? I did, yeah, 96. So we're going to move on to the next one and I'll show you another example. Let's list this thing really fast. But another thing that you can do, just a little caveat for staying this long, is you can also use List Perfectly to cross-post it elsewhere, okay? So with the Chrome extension, like I showed you, right? You have ZDrop. If we go back to this, you'll see that ZDrop only integrates with 2 marketplaces. It only integrates with Facebook Marketplace or Etsy. So you're like, okay, well, I guess I can't dropship on other marketplaces. But if you use a multi-channel listing software, where is it? Right here. If you use a multi-channel listing software, I'm going to create a tutorial on this coming very, very soon. This is a game changer. I've been using it a lot lately, and I always used to use this to like post everywhere. So if we go to listperfectly.com, I used to just like, and I still do it like this when I'm reselling my own reselling business, right? Instead of like posting it on eBay and then posting it on Mercari and then posting it on, wherever, right? Poshmark. What I basically do is I'd post it to List Perfectly, and List Perfectly would just boom, post it everywhere at the same time, right? So I still use it like that. But now I also use it in my dropshipping business because you can also cross post from Poshmark to Mercari, from Facebook Marketplace to Poshmark, from Facebook Marketplace to Etsy, and so on and so forth. So if you hit this little cross post listing, once you have List Perfectly installed and you obviously subscribe to it, and I'll drop a List Perfectly affiliate link down in the description. I think you can save 50%, I believe. I forget the actual deal that they have, but 50% off the first month or something like that. I'll put the details of whatever you can save down in the description. And you'll see that once you click that, you can literally post it everywhere else. Okay, so I'm not going to get into too much of where you want to cross post this because every marketplace is slightly different. So for example, like you can't obviously do this on Poshmark because on Poshmark, for example, you need to use their labels, right? So you can't, dropshipping on Poshmark works very, very differently. But you could hypothetically post this to eBay. You could hypothetically post this to Instagram. You could hypothetically post this to Mercari. You could hypothetically, like, you get the picture, right? So every marketplace is different. I'm not saying like post it everywhere. You need to know the specific nuances of every marketplace, but you can use List Perfectly to post your dropshipping listings other places, right? So for example, if I wanted to post this to Mercari, I could just go boom, copy it. And like I said, tutorial coming on this soon. I just want to give you a little caveat to help you out and help you make more money. Listed other places where you can get sales, and you get the picture. It's going to slowly post my listing to Mercari. I'm not doing this. It's just doing this for me. Okay. So little caveat there. Just wanted to kind of show that to you. All right. So now let's post one more really, really quickly to show you the tutorial one more time. Okay. So I'm going to copy it to Facebook, and I'm just going to sit here as it copies to Facebook. Okay. And as soon as that little button pops up right here, I'm going to click paste it, right? So paste data, bam. And the only thing that's doing this right here is the ZDrop Chrome extension. It's going automatically right now. It's, like I said, taking a little bit of time because I have a bunch of software and cross posts going in the background. And as soon as it stops pasting the tags in, you know it's done. So bam, it's done. So now let's go hand blender, personal blender, I don't know, appliance. I'm just coming up with these quickly. Kitchen, appliance, and you get the picture. I don't even know if I spelled that right. We're just going to go with it. I believe the next number was 97. So we're going to copy the URL and go into the folder and go shortcut, paste the URL, 97. And now we know that anytime somebody orders 97, I'm coming to 97 and clicking that, right? So there we go with that. Let's fix the top of the description. Again, they always post this in there. Don't put that in there, okay? So it's new. We're going to say it's a mixer and a blender. It posts already a 20% margin, so $36, and it was posted for 30. I'm going to list this a little bit higher. Let's go like 43. I'm going to go with quantity 3, and I'm going to take the brand out here. We're just going to say like Ultra Stick 500 watt, 5-speed immersion purpose hand blender. Yeah, go to the end and go heavy duty and just take that off. It's not the best title, but for the sake of demonstration purposes, I'm not going to change it much. And then we just come down. I'm not going to add the brand. I'm going to paste the title in there, and everything's set up perfectly, right? It's already hidden from friends because I set that up as a template on the actual Chrome extension. And then we're going to go shipping only. We're going to go use your own label so that I can obviously send it to whoever I want with my own shipping. And then I'm going to add free shipping. And you'll see here that I'm going to make $40.85 after fees when somebody buys this, which obviously leaves me a $10 profit margin. Boom, next, publish, list. And there you go. It's going to list it to Facebook Marketplace, okay? So that's Facebook Marketplace dropshipping in a nutshell. That's how you do it super, super fast. Now, again, let me show you really fast. So we'll jump to it here now. So here's a perfect example of something that I ordered that's on the way to me, right? Now, this is not a drop shipping listing. I ordered this obviously for my reselling business. It's tape. I order multiple of these like every single week, but I love this tape. It works so well, right? But you'll see updating your Blue Care tracking, please wait. So originally right here, it had the Amazon tracking number, which is what it shows you. But because I have the DSM tool, it converts that as the extension into the tracking for Blue Care Express, right? So I can copy this tracking number and I can put that into Facebook so that my buyer can track, right? And you need to do this within 3 days, but obviously Amazon or the majority of companies will update this within like 24 hours, usually maybe 48 hours max, but that rarely happens. And that way you don't need to run into the issue of giving them an Amazon tracking number. You can just convert it to a Blue Care Express. So hope you guys like this. I really hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. I've been playing around with this a lot lately and seeing that it actually works. So I wanted to recommend it to you. If you appreciate the value in today's tutorial, give it a thumbs up. I genuinely appreciate it. And it actually helps the video rank a lot in the algorithm. So I really appreciate that. Also, Resale University, which will teach you 7 ways to make money reselling products online, in my opinion, is the best reselling training out there. You can watch a free 10-minute video down in the description that will show you exactly how it can help you, show you examples of other, students just like you that it's obviously helped, and give you a quick demo of the course. Again, the first link in the description for a free 10-minute video showing all that. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.